r/askreddit. Would you watch a show where a billionaire CEO has to go an entire month on their lowest paid employee's salary, without access to any other resources than that of the employee? What do you think would happen? It would be incredibly self-serving and boring. They would never truly experience what it is like to be in the precarious position of a minimum wage employee living hand to mouth, and the novelty is just salt in the wound. It would be more interesting to see the reverse. Why not both? Or trading places, as we called it back in the 80s. Watch Rich House, Poor House on YouTube. The UK already has a show exactly like this. The reverse is called the lottery, and we know how it usually plays out. They'd be fine. The problem with poverty is not usually day-to-day costs. People can adjust to that. It's unexpected expenses that are crippling. I doubt a month is enough to really feel the effect. And a camera team changes everything. I want trust doing business with a random nobody. But a guy in suit with a whole production team following him? That's a different story. That's why reality shows are intrinsically just shows. I love reality shows, so I'd watch it depending on who produces it. If it's too fake, with too many emotional moments, advertising and people shouting, I'm out. I ducking hate that emotional moment bullshit. Kitchen Nightmares and Bar Rescue used to be great, now I can't even watch them. Same with Undercover Boss. I ducking hate that emotional moment bullshit. Kitchen Nightmares and Bar Rescue used to be great, now I can't even watch them. Same with Undercover Boss. This is why I can't watch many car shows anymore. Before commercial. If we don't get this engine to run, we're going to lose the shop. Quote. After commercial. After 6 seconds, Tommy found that the coil wire had popped off. We put it back on and the car runs great. Quote. Now I just watch the Motor Trend originals like Roadkill, Roadkill Garage, Dirt Every Day, and Faster with Finnegan. They don't do that fake TV drama bullshit. Edit. Since a few others have pointed this out. YouTube has some great content. Personally, I enjoy Smoking Tire, Doug DeMuro, Cletus, Rob Pitts, Ed Bolian, and a few others. Have you ever watched the OG British Kitchen Nightmares? He goes in, teaches them how to improve their food, teaches them how to manage a business, then does a bit of advertising. He is a lot meaner to us than the Americans. Most important, the editing isn't the absolute most obnoxious thing imaginable. Intense music and chop cut swoosh noise chop cut. Don't go away, because after commercials kitchen gets real. Danger. Explosion. Waiter throws something cooking. Never. More. Emotional. Woman crying Ramsay. Just. Can't. Shot of Ramsay walking out the door while calling someone a donkey, loud noise. Knives on screen. Fire in background. A car insurance commercial. There was this similar themed show in Hong Kong and mainland China years ago. They swapped Billionaire with bottom feeders. Let the rich do the basical job, on the lowest salary, to see how far the rich could go by purely their own effort. Nearly all of the Billionaire admitted that they could not make anywhere, regardless of how hard they worked. Even working without sleeping and resting could not give you any accumulation to help climb up to the higher level of the society. There was only despair, an admission that the divide between the poor and the rich is already a deep valley, and mere personal effort makes little sense. It stirred big debate among the society back then. And I think that was part of the reasons the show got cancelled. There was also another show in China, swapping senior political figures with community-level council workers, to see how good they could do in each other's posts. The mayors were flooded by the angry mobs who kept asking for more and more benefits that were impossible to fulfill. By the end, had to admit the amount of work at basic community level was too much to achieve anywhere. The show also got cancelled quite soon after a few episodes. There was a similar show on British TV, Rich Kids Go Homeless. Here's a link, CH5 documentary, https:// Channel 5. Show, Rich Kids Go Homeless. I watched an episode of that show. It was basically, here's a sleeping bag. Here's a homeless person to guide you around. Now go camping in the rich part of London for 3 days and our camera team will guard you. And after one day they all broke down. I can't do this, I'm going to die. It's more than just the money. It's the lack of security these people endure. Not knowing if you'll lose your job tomorrow and having no savings. Being kicked out of your home. An unexpected bill you can't afford. Which may lead to increasing debt. Putting these rich people in a poor lifestyle for a month isn't enough. Even if they lost their money and homes. They'll have such a huge network that they'll be back on their feet in the time it takes for us peons to earn enough to eat for a week. They can never truly understand what it's like to be poor or ever face that reality again. So what would happen? It'd be a completely self-serving advert about how now I realize that we need to do more for our employees. The workers get a small vanity bonus. Probably give an immigrant worker with limited English a car. Pat themselves on the back. Then 2 weeks later, we've all forgotten about the show and they'll go back to their old ways. If you haven't seen it, I'd recommend The Act of Killing. It's a documentary following an elderly man who was once a member of an government-sanctioned anti-communist death squad in Indonesia. Now, the commies are defeated. He's celebrated in his own country. There's a scene where they had him do a mock-up of a torture execution method he had used. He asked production to hold because he found it traumatic. In a very raw moment, he asks the question, "Is this what my victims were feeling in their last moments?" The producer responds, "No, what your victims were feeling was much worse. Because you were able to ask us to stop. And they knew there was no escape." You can see in a couple of seconds it changes the guy's whole worldview. I would imagine a billionaire who has been rich for most or all of their adult life, equally, would have trouble conceiving of the dread of inescapable poverty. You forgot the depressing part where he is the only one to have any sort of realization like that. The other guys had no such realization. Or maybe they had one years ago and didn't care. 3 months minimum and I'd watch it. Thanks for the gold. With problem scenarios thrown in. Asterisk broken down car. Asterisk tube strike. Asterisk dodgy boiler. Asterisk sick child. The wheels would come off pretty quickly. Solved that 1 year ago. Just buy ramen noodles and eat 2 packs of that every day until you're caught back up on rent. Easy peasy. Don't forget to chuck in a handful of frozen tinned veg. An egg and a bit of soy sauce to convince yourself that it's a proper meal. And triple the cost? PFF. No. It's about efficiency. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button and subscribe for more daily videos.